Quinn exiting, there are no black women coaches currently in the WNBA. And everybody trying to stop on each other. It's reckless for Matt to dismiss it as a cash grab. They're So when I saw this news about the Phoenix Suns owner, I wasn't excited about what was happening to people's lives. Like that wasn't it. But I was like, oh, okay, good. Some good, solid NBA content to discuss with y'all. So let's talk about it. So unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns, the off-court drama is probably the heaviest load that they're going to carry this year. I'm shading the Phoenix Suns because I look at them and I see no hope. Free Devin Booker. Free that man. The Suns organization is now facing a stack of lawsuits. Former employees claiming discrimination, retaliation, wrongful termination. It's a lot of allegations, a lot of lawsuits, a lot of things happening, and we're going to run down each of them and the timeline of it. If you aren't familiar, maybe you were reading because the article was so long and there's so much information. I was reading it and I was taking notes. I was getting stressed out, and I'm not a lawyer. All right. Some of the terms, I was like, okay, like I need this to be in layman's terms, something that's digestible, please. But there's even minority owners suing the Phoenix owner, Mat Ishbia. I'd be butchering people's names, but his name's Matt. Matt with one T, by the way. And they're like demanding access to internal financials and alleging there's some shady side deals going on. And the ownership right now is in the hot seat. So, and I just want to point out, why are we now? We're not even in October, and this is the second time this month we're talking about a second NBA franchise doing some shady business practices. They getting exposed out here in these NBA streets, man. We know that shadiness happens every day, all day. Corruption lingers, but the fact that we're talking about a second shady deal, second shady franchise, it's getting real grimy in these NBA streets. Okay, so let's do a timeline, right? So back in November 2024, a former DEI manager, Andrea Triskin, filed a federal suit alleging racial discrimination and retaliation after she says she reported potential financial and sexual misconduct inside the organization. The team denies it. She seeks her day in the court. That's the first spark that we see in public record for this franchise, right? Now, fast forward, spring 2025, more complaints start brewing. Employees are now told to sign a new arbitration agreement with clauses that limits their ability to sue in court over workplace matters, reportedly including discrimination, and it survives even after you leave. So essentially, to break that down, like I'm trying my best to make it as simple as possible because I was confused myself. It was just a lot. Essentially, even if you stop working for this organization, you cannot sue them. And I don't know the complete, it could be for like a lifetime. Can you imagine being under contract with a team till you die and you done already moved on with your life? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. And I just feel like that's a huge shield that the management is taking just from one legal complaint. And then there's, okay, hold on. So May through July 2025, a current employee, Gene Taylor, the team's director of safety, security, and risk, files a suit alleging, again, discrimination and retaliation with claims about failed security audits. Weeks later, he's fired while the case is pending. And the club says an outside probe found policy violations. Shady. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, in July 2025, on the WNBA side, because we know these like the Suns, each organization pretty much has like a brother sister with WNBA. The people that are buying into the WNBA most likely is an owner or part owner of a team in the NBA. So it's these organizations are pretty like joined at the hip, low key. But a former Mercury intern coach, Nikki Blues, sues, alleging unequal treatment and a retaliation. A different role, but similar themes to the other two: discrimination, retaliation, sexual misconduct. And it was like an alleged affair, apparently, with the CEO in this Mercury. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. So then in late August of 2025, so like the newest filing, there's minority owners in the Phoenix Sun, and they file in Delaware to compel access to financial records, saying they've been stonewalled and want to examine spending, capital calls, and possible side deals. So now we're talking about money. First, it was discrimination and retaliation, sexual misconduct. Those are workplace things that companies or people at the top probably do try to sweep under the rug more easily than anything. But then when you start talking about the money, that's when things get real serious. And now they're making statements in the media. Matt's making statements. He called the lawsuits, and he put the lawsuits all together in one, meaning like he put them all in the same bucket and he categorized them as money grabs. Says the Suns haven't lost a case and won't settle baseless claims. He even said most big companies have a clause in employee contracts about arbitration. He said, check any Fortune 500 company, check most NBA teams. He sounds defensive, don't he? He don't sound like an innocent man. He sounds like a man who got something to hide, and he's getting upset that he's getting exposed. And he's not coming like openness, like, we have nothing to hide. I'm appalled. Wow. Well, we're happy to get this handled. I'm sure it's a big misunderstanding. He's like, nah, this happens all the time. These are baseless. Y'all are trying to get money. You're trying to extort us. I'm just doing subtext. He didn't say that, but that's just the vibe he's giving. Like, it just seems a little more, he's being aggressive about it as opposed to just, I mean, I guess if all of it wasn't true, my thing is, it's like it's different people, different roles, different types of people doing different jobs, different instances. It doesn't seem to be like just baseless complaints. It seems like a pattern. And there's some shadiness going on in the organization. Y'all been losing. Y'all been a losing team. Y'all have not been doing nothing for years. Y'all have not been doing anything. That's because you're in the background doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. All I hear in the subtext of all of this, whenever Mat Ishbia is talking, all I hear is like, we're protected, we're going to fight this, and we'll win the court because we got the money, we got what we need. We haven't lost yet, so we're not going to lose type of thing. So it's alarming. I think once the new clause came and the employees had to sign it, that's where I started to get a little concerned for those people. Like, I was concerned from the claims, but I'm getting extra concerned now it seems like the culture, it seems like there's probably fear within the culture, even amplified times 10, especially with this media coverage and exposure to it. So I'm just, and if you don't sign it, your job's at risk. If you do sign it, you're still at risk. It's a lose-lose situation for these people. So I'm saying this with the love for the game and the respect for due process, right? Power always, at the end of the day, protects itself. And I think these are just classic plays from wealthy franchises that believe that they're untouchable. I get that you're protecting your business from frivolous suits. I'm not I've never been super wealthy where I had to protect myself from frivolous suits or extortion or things like that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but when multiple unrelated parties, from a DEI lead to a security chief to a WNBA coach to minority owners, completely different people who don't really run in the same circles, they're all pulling the alarm. And I think it's reckless for Matt to dismiss it as a cash grab. They're pulling the alarm, they're pointing, they're exposing y'all, and you loop them all together and say they just want money. He's not being humble about it at all. I mean, I understand we're in post Me Too era when there was a huge Me Too era, and now we're in the post Me Too era. But I'm not gonna deny. I'm not gonna look the other way. Me as a viewer, as a watcher, and I hope that something good comes out of this, or just I wonder. I don't hope for anything. What I want to see is more transparency, but I also don't want to see the NBA. It's weird for me. It's like I want to rid the NBA of these bad, shady deals that's going on behind the scenes, but I also don't want my beloved league to be looked at in this light. I don't. I really don't. Like, let's make it about basketball. It's like I want people to get exposed. I do. But I'm also like, man, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. It's too much. It's just too much. Bottom line, I think these top tier owners, or when I call them top tier owners, just these owners that make a lot of money and move how they move and say the things that they say and do the things that they do, they need to be held accountable. I want them to be held accountable. What I don't want is this to stain the league and its reputation. But the league hasn't been looking too good lately with that. Let me see the comments. What's up, Torian? Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Just checking the comments, seeing what's going on. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop a take, comment. We want to hear your voice. We want you to be a part of the conversation. And we want to know what you think. Is the Suns lawsuit a money grab, or are these real red flags? All of the instances that I described to y'all briefly, because it's a lot to digest, but everything I described so far, and then the response by the owner, do you guys really think that all of these people are just trying to get money from the Suns? And honestly, it's not even like the Suns are doing well. They suck. So why would these people be like, oh yeah, like usually they try to attack people that are at the top. Y'all don't even make it into the play-in. What the hell they gotta attack y'all for? Y'all are trash. Just saying. Like, this is like, come on. Yeah. Well, great conversations, great thoughts. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Let's keep moving on. We're about an hour in. I appreciate all the time we spent together. Just remember, if you know bull, you know ball. And let's move on to the next topic,